Hi, Johnny Vandefort here, Lorain County Community College's MEMS and Microelectronics program, as well as Merit Manufacturing Electronic and Rework Institute for Training. We are building a new circuit board for one of our classes. This is a circuit board that is actually meant to be built on our manufacturing line back here incorrectly. So we are actually going to purposely not build this board correctly because our goal is to teach students how to do troubleshooting and rework and repair techniques that would be associated common with the common manufacturing defects. And so we actually not only did we just get a board in, but we also got a stencil in from the folks over at JLC PCB. Thanks again for doing stuff for us over the past 5 years now with that there. We just want to be able to program it up to make sure that the nothing else has to be done over to the stencil for that in terms of like being have to like modify where we put it or anything like how we insert it into the machine, that kind of stuff with it there. Let's see if we can do that. So you can see here, I've got the machine all set up there. The pins are in place. The conveyor is set for the 150 millimeter conveyor width. One of the things that we're going to do next here is I'm going to put the stencil down. We're going to get a PCB put into here just to make sure that it can load in the PCB. And then the PCB will get carried in just a little bit further. There's the camera to make sure it's checking where it stops, everything like that. And I'm just checking to make sure that it clamps into there, that it's set into there okay. I often don't know which one of these screens to show because I've got the little screen that's up over here, but it's also displaying up on the big screen that's over there. I don't know if you can see that there. That's the bigger screen, so that might be the easier one to see. I might zoom in on one of these two here in just a bit. So here we've got a graphic in terms of what we need to do. We need to first recognize the circuit board and then recognize where the mask, and that's Japanese translation for the stencil. There's my fiducial. It happens to be right there. That's very nice. So we're going to recognize where that is. It's a 1 millimeter diameter circle. That circular pad, that's where that is. Easiest thing for our inspection system to be able to see. There's our other fiducial there. Go ahead, recognize that, complete that, and there we've got our fiducial recognition test here. Bam, bam, there we go, all done with there. Now we just got to make sure that the new data carries over into what's actually really been taught. That's the actual real data in terms of the X and Y position of this board, which is approximately 256 millimeters long by about 149.1 millimeters wide. All right, back at this screen here, next thing we're going to do is actually do a mask recognition. So we're going to need to actually input in the mask for this one here. First, check to make sure it sees the PCB, and it sees the PCB. That's a good thing for that there. Now we got to actually put in the mask, or the stencil, if you will, mask stencil with that. Nice little graphic for that there. Let's actually go ahead and back this up a little bit. Got the stencil right here. I've got what's marked for what I believe to be the front of the stencil. Going to load into the stencil, into the machine, push the stencil all the way back, pull it down for this one here, right? And then ultimately turn the light back on and then press the OK. It's going to push the stencil forward into a fixed position here, clamp down onto the stencil, clamp. Okay, we found the first fiducial here. I'm going to tell it to please recognize where that fiducial is. It's a 1 millimeter diameter round circle that actually is etched through the stencil. That's not normally what is commonly done in manufacturing, but helps to be able to educate students as to what stencil printing is. You can see it's found that fiducial in terms of where that is. Now we're going to go to the next one. This one we got to do a little bit of some searching now, don't we? Oh, there it is there, doing a little pattern going around it. So it's slightly off center. Go over and up. Oh, I lost it there. I lost it. Where is it? Do a little search pattern again. Ah, there it is. Down and to the left. Very handy feature for being able to see it, especially because I can't see it on the actual machine itself. There's my fiducial. Kind of make our way over that way. Please recognize where that is. Adjust your lighting settings to as what you feel is necessary for this here. There we are, complete, and then we have been able to register where these fiducials happens to be. We're going to do a mass side recognition teach. And we have found both the fiducials for the stencil. We have found the fiducials for the circuit board. Now we just got to put them together to be able to make sure that the two of them can actually be aligned up next for that there. You can see inside the printer right now that the board is actually underneath the stencil. I'm relying on the camera as well as having an additional spare bare board to be able to help me identify where these fiducial markers are. Coming up here is actually one of my favorite tests for this one here. It's called the PCB side teach. This is where we figure out if the board and the stencil are actually located close to the same spot. Now just put the two on top of one another there. Good, good. See that? It's doing this part here, which I like. I like with this here. I like when it can find the actual part. Hopefully it just hasn't moved over too much for this here, you know. So we're gonna move it into position here. Can you see? Can you see the fiducial? Ah, that's a nice fiducial. Yes, continue on to the next point here. There's the second point for that. Excellent, excellent. Let's see. I'm going to change my setting just a little bit there. Can you recognize this fiducial as being a 1 millimeter diameter pad? It completes it here. The next point is here. And if we've done everything right and nothing has moved around too much, there you go to the print position, move, and it moves to the print position. And that's excellent. If we look on the inside of the stencil, inside the machine, all of the pads are in the correct place on that stencil. Isn't that awesome for that, right? No green is showing for this circuit board here. I don't see any particular green for that. And so it's moved the bare board up to the stencil, and we officially have ourselves a programmed in stencil. This is ready to rock and roll. More to come from Lorain County Community College's MEMS and Microelectronics Manufacturing courses, as well as Merit, Manufacturing, Electronics, and Rework Institute for Training. Leave a comment down in the comment below. Thank you so much for all the supporters here, and we'll see you around on the next one. See you later. Bye-bye.